a new 2-year, $68.6 million contract with the 76ers. It's an interesting deal. It guarantees him $33 million next year and the opportunity to decline his player option for the following year and become a free agent next summer. So I think the contract sometimes is interesting. Here's Zach Lowe. Zach, this feels to me like Harden has talked a lot about getting his hamstring back and becoming the player that he was a few years ago. And now with this contract, he sort of bets on himself to do that. What is your sense of what he can get back to this coming year in Philly?
Yeah, there was no market this summer for James Harden on a 5-year max or a 4+1 year max, the mega deal that everyone assumed he would get before his game deteriorated a little bit. So it is betting on himself because next year, Greeny, a lot more teams are going to have cap space. He'll have a lot more leverage next year if his game rebounds a little bit. And I do think he's going to have a good year if he's healthy, if that hamstring is ready to go. I think the days of MVP candidate James Harden, first team All-NBA, top 5 player James Harden, I think that's done. But you know what? The Sixers have an MVP candidate. They have a top 5 player, Joel Embiid. All they need for James Harden to do is be a legit all-star, be trustworthy in big games, be in the conversation for third-team All-NBA, or maybe if you really hit second-team All-NBA. I think that's totally on the table for James Harden. He's still that good when he's engaged and if he's healthy. And if he is that player, this team's ceiling is flat-out championship. I don't think they're quite as good as Boston and Milwaukee, but they're damn good and good enough to beat those teams in playoff series if some things go right for them. That's how good they can be.
Expand on that thought, on them in the East right now, particularly with some of the other moves they were able to make.
Well, they rounded out their roster with a bunch of 3-and-D guys who had some athleticism around Harden and Embiid, which, by the way, was the single best pick-and-roll combination in the NBA after the Harden trade. They're deep. They have a lot of 3-and-D pieces that fit well around those guys. They are well-rounded. This should be the best Sixers team since the Jimmy Butler team that played half the season, and it might even have a ceiling a little bit higher than that. Their problem is, A, Harden's record in big games is not encouraging. B, Joel Embiid always seems to get hurt at the exact wrong time. Basketball gods, please take care of Joel Embiid. And C, Milwaukee and Boston are just awesome in the East. The road is really, really hard, but they've given themselves a chance. They are in the inner circle of contenders.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.